Welcome to my case study on parental apathy. What we know, Mrs. Rose is a new assistant principal at John F. Kennedy School. Ms. Rose is wanting to increase parental participation and community involvement in the school. Her principal feels parents don't want to be any more involved, they just want the teachers to do it all. He feels that way because at the beginning of his career, he felt the same way she did, and has not been successful in increasing parent involvement. But he does relent and let her set up a meeting to try to set up a parental advisory committee, but no PTA, no PTO. Kids take home an invitation on Friday for a meeting not the following Monday, a week from the following Monday. Only 8 parents show up. The principal is saying, let's cancel this. What we need to know, demographics, socioeconomic demographics. Is it an economic issue why parents didn't come? Are they working night shifts? Do they need to find a daycare provider, which is more than their budget will allow? Do they not have a car or transportation to get to the school? What are the ethnic demographics? Can they read the invitation? Was it written in their language, their native tongue? And are there cultural differences that makes parents feel like giving advice or suggestions to teachers is disrespectful? The other thing we need to know, what are the teachers' perceptions? Do the teachers share the principal's perceptions? Do they feel the same level of parental apathy? Or have they been successful in getting parents to be involved in their child's education? And if so, what means did they use to get that level of involvement? And what type of alternative forms of communication have been used? Do parents respond to text? Do they look at the school website? Do they respond to emails? Do they respond to phone calls? Do they like snail mail? What have been effective in the past to get parents involved? So my problem overview is demonstrated by the emblem in the middle of the page, the graphic. The two ovals represent the two separate groups, the school and the parents, and they're not overlapping, they're not interacting in any way, they're very separate entities. And the eye in the center is the solution. We need information. We need to find out why the parents aren't being interactive with the school, and then provide scaffolding so that they can knock down those barriers so that parents will become more involved. So the first problem I see is the invitation. We don't know if the parents even got them. Sending home invitations with kids as the only form of an invitation is not a good plan. We don't know if those invitations got home, and if they did they get out of the backpack? Do parents even know about this meeting? And sending home one invitation the Friday before the Monday, which is a week ahead, were there reminders sent? Were there phone calls made? Was it posted on the school website? Is it on the radio? Is it in the local newspaper? What other means of communication were used to remind parents about this meeting and ask for their involvement? Second problem is simply that the parents aren't participating. Why? What's going on? The principal indicates that from comments from the parents that he gets at parent-teacher conferences, he has a pulse of the community. Well, then parents must attend conferences. So they're involved to a certain level. They do care to a certain level. So we need to tap on that, find out why it is they go there but nowhere else. And do the parents go to the classrooms? Do they volunteer? Do they help in any way? Do they read to their kids? Do they help with homework? Do they chaperone? What do parents do to be involved? That's what we need to find out. What do they do and build on that? Why don't they participate and try to solve that problem? Problem 3, the school has been demanding one type of interaction from these parents for them to come to the school to a meeting. That might be a problem. Maybe they're willing to be involved in other ways, and conversely, if we are wanting them to come to the school, then as administrators, we need to be willing to go to them as well. And so we've got to think about, where can we find these parents in their community? Where can we just sit and chat? Where can we get to know them better? And what other types of interaction have parents been willing to do? And build on that. Step 1 of my action plan is to talk to those parents. You've got 8 parents. Talk to them, find out what their perception is. What do they want? What could we do for them? Because possibility is that if it helps them, it will help other parents as well. And the principal is probably correct. These probably are not a representative group of parents. They're the ones who will help you. So use them, talk to them, see if you can set up a program with them. And then they can spread the word to other parents, and maybe slowly you can get a spider web of involvement and trust and communication built. Step 2, talk to those teachers. Were there other ways that they have used in the past that got parents involved? What have they done? What do they see parents' strengths as? What do they see their weaknesses as? What is their perception of this problem? And maybe that can shed some light on what you need to do if those parents, those 8 parents that came, didn't have any good suggestions for you. Or maybe this can tweak what was established with the parents. Step 3, you've got to get the principal involved and on board. So that is number 1 priority. Talk to him, share with him what the teachers have said, what you're thinking is a good final product. And then finally, go out into the community and meet those parents on their turf in just a social way. Just have coffee with them. Don't talk about anything in particular. Just get to know them. Because as Green pointed out in his quote in our directions, the benefits to be derived happen both inside and outside the schoolhouse. And we need to go outside as well. And so that's my plan. I'm going to go out, I'm going to meet the parents. Since they won't come to me, I'll go to them and see if maybe through developing that type of relationship, I can get them then later to come in. So resolving that issue. Without question, having caring teachers, having effective teachers is the number 1 indicator of student achievement within a classroom. But having parents who are involved is also positively correlated to later student achievement. So both of these are going to be factors that as an administrator, I'm going to focus on. But right now we're focused on that parental involvement, and that will be best for the students without question. And so as I said before, talking to those parents is the first step. Finding out what can I do to make them and other parents more involved so that those kids will feel like school's important. Getting those parents to support the school and speak well of the school will influence the students as well. And so I've got to get them in. I've got to get them to agree to a mission with me, listen to them, develop a collaborative plan with them, share a mission with them, and go from there. The next solution would be, as I said earlier, talk to those parents, get my data, gather it, develop a strategic plan, know where I need to go and how I need to reach these parents. I don't want to just be shooting in the dark. I want to know where these parents are and what these parents need. So when I see them, I can listen for indicators that will help me develop programs that help them. And finally, it's time to put that plan to the tests. Go have coffee in the local diner. See that parent at their church, maybe my denomination, in their community. Go there, get involved with them, go to the gym in that area. Involve myself in their daily lives, go to their grocery store, go to their markets, go to their assemblies, and see if I can't reach out to them and get to know them and their culture and what matters to them. And maybe then they'll start to trust me and respond to the school in a more positive light. So debriefing, how did I feel as I went through this? First feeling is frustration. Why would only 8 parents show up? How frustrating would that be to send out, to talk to the principal and finally talk them into it, send out the invitations, and 8 parents show up? So frustrating. I have been in negotiations. I know what it's like to ask for help and have nobody help, but more than willing to complain. It is frustrating, and it can lead to burnout and apathy. And so part of my solution is not hitting it head on, because that rarely works. Just getting to know them. This is not a problem I see as being solved overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take continued commitment. and showing those parents over and over again, I'm not backing out. So that frustration isn't going to go away right away. It's going to be a roller coaster ride of highs and lows, and that frustration is going to come back with every low. Anxiety. I don't like not knowing. I am a person that functions on data. I use data every day, which makes assignments like this hard for me because I make decisions on my day based on the responses I get from my students. If they're understanding, I move faster. If they're not understanding, we back up. If they ask an intriguing question, we may veer off in another direction. And so not having all the information and having to come up with and outline a solution is hard. Without having been there and seen the faces and felt the nonverbal communication going on, it's hard. And so that increases anxiety. I need to understand. I need to have solutions. And then finally, pride. I feel a sense of pride because I do think this is a problem that can be solved fairly simply. Not quickly, but simply, by simply getting to know these people, reaching out to them and just being part of them. Not being pushy, not being overbearing, just being a friend. The best way to get friends is be a friend. And that's what we need here. We need some understanding, we need some compassion, we need patience, and we need to listen to what the community is telling us. Remaining issues. The first one is the principal. He is an issue. His attitude is an issue. If he does not get on board with this, the parents are going to sense that, and I'm going to run into resistance every time I suggest a solution to the problem. So I have got to be sure from the beginning the principal is on board and supportive of my actions and motives. Second is discerning that barrier. What is it that's causing this? Because if parents aren't honest with me about their hesitancy, I'm not going to have a good solution and the problem isn't going to be solved. And so really building that relationship and really building some trust so that parents feel comfortable being honest and talking about what they need and why they haven't been involved will be important. And finally, I need to gain the support of the community because everybody in that community is a taxpayer and so is a stakeholder. And I need everybody supportive of that school. When I go to that coffee shop, I need to get to know the waitress. I need to know that when she hears people talking about this school, she's going to support us. She's going to say, I know that assistant principal. I know those teachers. I know they care about those kids. And they're really trying to make a difference. I need the businesses out there to feel like they can reach out to us and that we'll reach out to them. I need this problem to be like a pebble thrown into a pond that I'm going to hook onto some parents and then more parents and then community members and students and faculty, and the circle just keeps reaching out and reaching out and reaching out as it did in that first emblem until it's just one, and then it disappears and we're all just one big ecosystem, one big pond that's working together and helping each other. That would be the ideal. And it will take time to get there. It'll take patience to get there, but I do believe it's attainable. Thank you for listening and all your support this semester.